Hi guys, Captain Foley here. I'm seeing a lot of Canadian love in the comments, and I approve of this message. And you're right. Australians are great, however, Canadians are better. I'm sorry to say. All right, guys. So I am here. I'm with you guys to chat about tonight's episode, Perpetual Infinity. So I really enjoyed this episode. More so than I anticipated I would, which is a good thing. Quite a bit happened, and I saw something that made me cringe a little bit. It has to do with the color green, and I'm just hoping against hope that it's not what I think it's going to be. Because if it is, they are making a massive mistake. I don't use A very much. This must be evil Admiral Foley, since he is going to torture people with Star Trek Discovery. No one's here against their will, so if you're not interested, Josh, by all means, click away, go do something else. Mr. Captain 93, I certainly hope not. Nanoprobes exist in many different forms in Star Trek. They don't necessarily have to be Borg. However, yeah. So we saw Hugh back, recommissioned as a doctor or medical staff, which was cool. It was nice to see the flashback of Michael and her parents. That was a really nice scene, actually. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, it's Nanotech, Stuart. We're close to having it now, so it's reasonable to see them. I know, Jamal, I totally agree with you. Everybody's going to freak out, though, and say it's the Borg. It better not be Borg. Can you explain the green thing? Well, the nanoprobes had little green lights, little green eyes, which has me afraid that they're going to go Borg with it, which I hope they don't. Hope against hope they don't. But I can see now with the whole sending all this orb information through time, it's going to backfire, and somehow it's going to result in the Borg, which would be stupid beyond stupid. I don't know what to say. Please don't jump to conclusions. I think they're smarter than that. Plus, we know the Borg assimilation causes the metal flapping. What? Plus, we know that Borg assimilation causes the metal things popping out of the skin and all that. Yeah, well, I'm hoping it's not, but it has to be addressed. So I'm not going to jump to conclusions, but Canadian Starships throws in $2. Thank you very much. And you're right, Tim Hortons and milk in bags for everyone. David Bessig puts in $5. Thank you very much, David. Just a reminder, you guys are the best Trek on YouTube. Thanks for keeping up the good fight. My main issue, torpedoes launched out of the nacelles. Oh, dude, I saw that and I had to double take, and I asked Sylvia, did I just see those get launched out of the nacelles? And she was like, and I was like, oh, good God. So we know that the nacelles have the middle part, and then they have the two smaller blue on each side. Are those now torpedo launchers? Yeah. I'm curious about the reference to a language of a civilization that's been gone for 1,000 centuries. Yes. Borg origin has never been human. They originate in a distant quadrant of the galaxy. However, in different forms, and there's a manga comic that actually attributes the Borg to being created by Kirk and crew after one of their missions, the creation of the Borg Queen, and not cool. So what happened to the Admiral, by the way? Cornwall? I don't know. It seems like characters on Discovery just mysteriously go missing. Probably trapped, like Jet Reno and Cornwall are probably trapped in the turbolift, going on a endless ride through the ship. That'd be my guess. David Bessick puts another $2. By the way, Full Blown D7 was in the Next Time preview. I haven't seen that yet, but I've already heard that, and I'm happy to hear about a D7. So I need to watch the preview. I didn't watch the preview for tonight's episode until literally an hour before this episode started, because I've had a hell of a week, and I've had a super busy day today. But I'm back on track now, I think. So, where in the galaxy is Jet Reno? She's somewhere fixing something with duct tape, would be my guess. Love your description of the Enterprise A, B, C, D, and F. Thanks, Captain Foley. My description of it? What do you mean exactly? Admiral fell into the can't afford to pay you this week, Vortex. So a 9 out of 10, says Birdo Prey 5. No, this is not a 9 out of 10. I'd probably give this one, I'll go with a 7.5, possibly an 8 out of 10 for this one. Snowflake anti-tracker now, you know this is going to explode. He's going to explode. You want me to snowflake him? Everyone, please be kind and generous when you go see Anti-Trekker. He's a very caring soul. He loves Star Trek and only wants the best for it. So when things he sees don't make sense, he goes a little bit wonky. And it's understandable. Change is change. The only thing we can rely on in life is in fact change. However, he might not be happy with it. But it's the way it is. Do Jet Reno's flying robot things look anything like what Section 31 has? No, they didn't. On Trekyards, your transmission. What's that mean? There's a TOS style map on the view screen in the preview for next week's episode. That's promising. That and a D7, I'm getting on board here. Anti-Trekker is inflexible and will be left behind by the new order. He's not totally inflexible. He's not like some other channels out there. He does tend to have a level head at times and can point out the good as well as the bad. But his USS Reliant broke. How did his USS Reliant break, Bird of Prey? The suit had little flying drones as well, and those are kind of cool for recording the mission logs. I like that, actually. I honestly like your attitude, Captain Foley. Well, thank you. I haven't had the best attitude today. I was kind of in a grumpy mood earlier. Last few days I haven't been feeling the best, so. Her mom is charging the time crystal in the flashback, yet Michael never remembers that. So at the end, I was confused a little bit when the suit got sucked back through the vortex without her in it, and then she went right afterwards. Does she not need the suit to travel through time? Does she not? I understand that she kind of gets pulled back to this 900 years in the future where everything's destroyed. That also explains the loneliness and desperation that Spock felt during the mind meld. So I like that, but I assumed she needed the suit to survive and to travel through time, but it doesn't seem to be the case. His entire bookcase with his ship's oh my god. Oh my god. I'll tell him he has my condolences. I am loving Discovery and just hope that other new shows will be just as good. Yeah, Discovery's doing fine this season. I'm really along for the ride, so no, she is tethered with or without the suit. Yeah, I got that, but if the suit jumps back into space and she's not in the suit, I see a problem. Maybe it doesn't jump into space, maybe it jumps back. I don't know where it would jump back, but time as a malicious entity is annoying me. Maybe she'll become an immortal like Captain Jack. Her anchor is on a planet that may be the future Terralisium. Yeah, that was a good explanation for why New Eden was why she took the church, so she can live in its future on the different planet that's outside the radar, if you will, of control. I guess I don't know. It kind of blows a lot of our theories out of the water this episode, which is fine. I kind of like the surprise, the new take they're having on it. So, Hackle, I agree with you 100%. Is the new D7 a promo for next week? Some ship is shown next to Discovery. Can't tell what it is from the angle. Haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. Jill Wright puts in $2. The suit jumps back to the surface of New Eden. Okay, well then that's cool then. No problem. Cap, want me to send you a photo of the D7? Yes, I do, Doug. Make sure it's a good quality one, if you can. Can Q travel into the future? Of course you can. Dean Prater puts in $3. Burnham, I want my Moogie. Okay, Nog. Or Rom. Is it Rom or Nog? Having a brain fart. I think I'm going senile, guys. Control is out of control, therefore it is chaos. It seems we got an answer as to why Starfleet stopped using holocommunication controls, use them to interact or infect 7,000 ships using them. Also, is this the first time we got a fleet size for Starfleet? I would believe so. Yeah, somebody actually asked me the other day what the fleet size was, and we didn't know. Rom, yeah. Okay, thanks, guys. I should know this. Mark Maplebeck puts in $2 Canadian. They did mention that they no longer have a suit. Well, it got damaged with the blast, right? So Control is really panning out similar to the Section 31 novels. I actually like that. I haven't read the Section 31 novels, so I wouldn't know. The time cops are pretty damn negligent. Well, we talked about that the other day too. Are the time cops in? They're only probably in one reality because they're shielded with temporal shielding from effects of the timeline, but probably only in their reality. So I don't know if they can see the other ones, and we don't know. There's multiple, as we saw in Parallels on TNG. There's multiple timelines and realities. So the time police just aren't apparently in this one. But yes, if they are, and this is in fact Prime, then they are very much negligent. Cleto Law puts in $2. Thank you very much. Is it just me, or does the 4K ships in the TOS era seem big? They are big. The suit went at Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah, people have been drawing a lot of parallels between the Ant-Man and Wasp suits and the Red Angel. The suit did look really cool, though. I did like the flashback when she first jumped with the suit and ended up in space. Like, where am I? That was pretty cool, actually. The suit looks cool. Did the Klingons destroy all the data on the suit? Why can't they build a new one now that they know it works? I don't know. We'll probably get that answer next week if the Klingons are in it. Time police are on a donut break. Yes, they're ensuring that the safety of all future donut shops. That's what their real concern is. Next on Trekyards, a time traveling wave raider from Legends of Tomorrow. Never actually watched Legends of Tomorrow. Actually, probably should. What about the temporal war with Enterprise? Would have affected the... Oh my god, it was the chat, sorry. What about the temporal Cold War and Enterprise? Would that have been affected by all this time jumping and changes? I would assume so, yes. Love the uniforms Klingons were wearing. Haven't seen them yet. The suit has several Gundam elements, which is hilarious. Really? I'm not a huge fan of Gundam, so I'm not I don't know. Anyone else have to restart CBS app multiple times to play the episode? Had to restart 3 times from PS4 tonight. I don't have the CBS app. We watch it on Space here in Canada, so no, I don't have that issue. I have to admit, whatever they did to Leland made me sick to my stomach. Yeah, you know, I was really liking Leland, and it's a shame to see something like that happen to the guy. One thing I do have to say is that I am super, super pleased with the fact that I'm beginning to like Giorgio. I'm really beginning to like her character. They've really kind of taken a nice turn with her and made her somewhat likable. Well, I'll be damned. Look at that. Thanks, Doug. That's awesome. That is cool. Just sent me a picture of the D7 from the trailer, or part of it. You can't really see much of it. You can tell what it is, though. Well, yeah. The suit would make for a great X-Men Archangel. Yes, it would. If Control succeeds, would it just wipe out all life in one timeline and all of the other timelines? Possibly. I don't know what Control's motivation really is. I don't know what destroying all life would do for it, but I kind of like her too, and she's hot. If you're talking about Giorgio, she is not hot. She is definitely not my type at all. Not even one iota. But I really am starting to like her character. Who said timeline? This is no time to talk about timeline. We don't have the time. That's true. Where does she get her wardrobe? I did like on Giorgio the Delta. She actually has the Section 31 badge on now, but it's not straight. It's sideways, and it's really cool the way she has it. I like that. Good to know I'm not the only one who watches Star Trek with Optimus Prime nearby. No, I've got a lot of Transformers over in this corner here. Huge Transformers fan, so. Damn, now I gotta watch the trailer again. I need to watch the trailer. I haven't seen it yet, because we don't get it. They don't air it here in Canada, and I can't seem to find it online right now. I usually have to wait a day or so. If there can be an EMH, why not an EHT, emergency tactical hologram, so that the red shirts won't need to die to prevent the ship? Yeah, it's funny because we've actually talked about emergency security holograms, we called them, quite a while ago on Trekyards. How that would be a great idea. Until the computer decides to take over, like Control is, and turn all the holograms on the people, but if there can... just read that one, okay. Why doesn't Discovery inform... Why doesn't Discovery inform? I don't know. Don't know the rest of Starfleet in Section 31 about, the cyber mutiny. 7,000 ships, but only 14 classes. Do you think that is really Ash in the escape pod, or Control imitating him? I never considered that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Control now that you've said that. That's actually fantastic. We'll have to see. I think the Enterprise will show up in a future space battle. Yes, I do. I think the Enterprise is going to come blazing to the rescue, just with number one in command, just kicking ass. I think that'd be great. T-Berg Sci-Fi Fan puts in $5 Canadian. Thank you. Thanks for your hard work, Captain. Well, thank you guys for watching, because without that, there wouldn't be any need for me to do this. I've had a rough week. Just from not feeling well to just not... I don't know. Depression's been kicking my ass again, is basically what I'm saying. Just no desire to do Trekyards, do anything. Just... But I'm getting over it, and I'm starting to feel better. So today Sylvia got a new car, so we went and picked up the new car. It was a busy day, so we know it's Ash from the preview. It is Ash. Okay. Probably not Control. Remember how it said it took a longer time to replicate flesh? Disintegrate Tyler into an ashtray. That's a Trekyards worthy dad joke. That's what that is. Dr. Burnham telling Pike he wouldn't want to know his future, but put a bit of a smile on my face. Yeah, that was actually really good. Caleb Horn puts in $5. Interesting place to place some torpedo tubes, eh, Captain? Also think Discovery is waiting to rescue Burnham in 1,000 years. Yeah, I mean, it's going to tie in with Calypso. It has to. Just the whole... She's 900 years in the future, and Discovery has been waiting 1,000 years at that point. It's going to tie in somehow with all of that, so that's really good. Let's see. Control. Struggle is pointless. All Control could do is hologram without the human body. If there were 7,000 ships at this point, how many ships do you think there was at the time of Deep Space Nine? I can't even speculate. That's definitely a discussion we're going to have for Trekyards. There's going to be a video on that, the 7,000 fleet ships of the fleet. That's an interesting number for sure, especially for TOS time. It's a little bit exaggerated in my opinion, but we'll see. We'll see how that turns out, that conversation. I'll share my secret recharging place, Captain. Port Bruce, south of Aylmer on Lake Erie. Surf, sun, solitude, and great burgers. That sounds fantastic. I just can't do that right now, unfortunately, because the weather's still not great. Here's a trailer for the next episode, Captain. Oh, for piss sakes, there we go. Open link in your tab. Season 3 takes place in the future to align with Calypso. That'd be cool, actually, if the whole season was in the future and they have to get back. "7,000 ships could also include shuttlecrafts and tugs." That's exactly what I was thinking in my mind. I'm thinking it's got to include civilian ships and things like that as well, because... Let me just see here. Just watching the next preview trailer. Oh, with no audio. I'll have to go back and watch it later. Yeah, there she is. Damn. But Laurel's back. I don't know how I feel about that. Not a huge fan of the Klingon storylines, but considering she's going to be on a D7, that'll be fantastic. I'm just watching it again real quick, guys. Somebody said something about a TOS style map. There it is. Oh. Alright. You got me interested. You've got my interest sufficiently piqued. I'm back. Do runabouts count as ships? Yes, they're small auxiliary craft. All ships count for scientific fantasy series are low. The audio is good. Borath Borath a butt ton of Section 31 ships. That was a D7 for sure. Yeah, it definitely was. It looks a lot more like a Katinga, but we've kind of let that go because you got to upscale the detail a little bit. So no problem with that. I've been in a bit of a bad mood today. I have to rewatch later to get an objective sense of it. Yeah, I find when I'm in a bad mood, when I watch an episode, I tend to have a more negative look at it. I was just burned out today when we got back and had like less than an hour to kind of sit down and relax and eat, and then Discovery was on, so I actually really enjoyed it more than I expected to. Like I said, this is a 7.5 or an 8 for me, and that's saying something because there's been a few this season that have been up there. This one I didn't expect to be that fantastic, but I really did enjoy this one. So controlled beam all the Section 31 crews into space. Probably that would explain why Section 31 is no longer really a thing in the future. Most of them died. I want a Star Trek series that shows us what happens to the shapeshifters. I just don't see how Kraft's future and Burnham's mom's future align. She says there is no life anywhere in the galaxy. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they tie it together because I did really enjoy Calypso. I'm looking forward to seeing Kraft again. Actually, he was a really good character and a great actor. So it'll be interesting to see how it all ties together. And it can't be that Calypso is a standalone piece. This whole Discovery being ordered to wait for 1,000 years definitely is an interesting plot point. And it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out because if they're going to go to season 3, I don't know how this is going to work. Like, is this order for Discovery to do that part of the end of the series? Or are they going to do that sooner and then resolve things and then, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they tie it together. Very mixed feelings about this episode. No Orville, and then this was okay. But I see a lot of science stuff to criticize. Oh, there's always science stuff to criticize. Love my Eagle Moss Runabout. Yeah, the Eagle Moss Runabouts are kind of cool, actually. I haven't done a review on the Eagle Moss Runabout. I actually went back and looked at my Eagle Moss reviews, and I've done 44 so far. So that's 44 weeks solid of Eagle Moss reviews, and I've still got a shit ton to do. So, yeah. I'm actually losing my liking of Orville. It's just not consequential enough. No, I like Orville. I'll have to disagree with you there. Kurtzman would be insane not to greenlight a Pike spinoff, show if the actors are available. I totally agree, my friend. I totally agree. I would kill to see that. It'd be amazing. Burnham, we have to get back to the future. What do I turn into an asshole or something? No, not you. Your mom. Something's got to be done about your mom. Yeah. Super Steel AK puts in $1.99. No holograms on Enterprise. It has to play in the end. Absolutely. Orville will get old as soon as the 90s Trek nostalgia wears off, and it's just poop jokes. Yeah. Disagree. Didn't realize time crystals was a real thing. Apparently it is. Cockings will freak out. He loves being able to work it out. Cockings. Let's see. What will Samuel think? I think he's really going to like this episode. I think he's really going to be on board with it. Would you like to see a time jump that crosses Disco and the Picard series? Maybe something to do with red matter. If done properly, done properly, sure. But as I've said, very little faith that that's going to happen. Time crystals. Someone calls Stephen Strange. Yes. Speaking of, I'm looking forward to the new Avengers Endgame as well. Hopefully we'll see all of the permutations that, well, I won't see all of them, that Doctor Strange saw, all the different timelines. That'd be cool. If I design a ship and it is good, would you feature it? We do look at fan designs for mission briefings, or we also have our Trekyards originals, so you can like commission us to help you create a story or a history for your ship, backstory. We also get our 3D modeling team to build your ship in 3D, and then Samuel animates it. So we have different packages available for our Trekyards originals. You can even join us for the episode to present your ship. So that's an option. But if it's a really great ship, we might just look at it and chat about it on mission briefing. We'll have to see. Interesting that Burnham's mom didn't know anything about the red bursts. Yeah, I found that very interesting as well. Does she legitimately not know, or is it just more of a case of I can't let on that I know, perhaps? I don't know. Looking forward to the Godzilla one as well, Derek. King of the Monsters. It'd be funny if a time-traveling Wesley Crusher appears on Discovery. That would be funny. How is Ash going to explain that he's not dead? Yeah. Still waiting on the Hussock warship breakdown. So overpowered. That's one that I don't think I've ever considered doing. I'll have to add it to the list. I mean, I like the show, but if they're going to science things up, they better get it right on the show. Ash is now control? I mean, he could be. He could have. The nano probes that were in Leland could have. That's what I was. And as they were fighting, I was thinking that. I'm like, if he gets a cut or a wound, would it be possible for the nanoprobes to infect him as well, so that him and Leland could work together? And then that kind of went by the wayside. And now that he's in an escape pod, I'm thinking it's still possible that they could be controlling Ash. I'm not sure that that's what they're going to do, but it is worth noting anyway. It's possibilities. So Ash is not control. He gave a warning to Discovery about Leland. Well, it doesn't mean that he's not control, though. Notice Burnham's mom said that the suit is DNA coded, so Burnham could still be the Red Angel. Yep, she could still use the suit. They even talked about that at the beginning. That the mitochondrial DNA was a very close match or whatever. So I still think there's a possibility that Michael's going to actually have to put on the suit at some point, and maybe she takes her mom's place 900 years in the future. So it turns out that Michael Burnham is the Red Angel, and she sacrifices her happiness, her life, to save her mother. That might be a possible plot point. She goes to live on at New Eden. I don't know. I always wondered where the Husak were in the galaxy's balance of power. Did they have an ally, enemies, trading partners? Did their destruction affect the galactic economy? Very good questions, Thomas. I have no answers for you. What is with this Ant-Man jumping up people's asses all that I've been reading? Like, that's not going to be a thing that happens. I don't know where that started, but damn, it's everywhere. Control equals Borg? I hope not. I hope to God not. It's nanotechnology, they're nanobots. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the Borg. I don't know why everybody's freaking out about that. If Discovery does that, it's a huge misstep in my opinion. I mean, sure, they want to create the Borg, but don't. Just don't. Have a little restraint. Leave it be. Maybe Michael is sending the signals, possibly. I don't think Control's nanoprobes are that sophisticated. I would mean it has simulation tech. Yeah, I agree, Jamal. So CBS keeps saying this will fix the timeline, but any ideas how? I don't know. Well, the preview for next week already has a D7, so that's a step in the right direction. Do you think Beverly Crusher would be an ideal mother for you? For me? I don't want to have a crush on my mom. Borg would not want to kill all life. They absolutely would not, because they rely on organic life. They are cyborgs. They are part organic. It'll be interesting how it plays out. Kurtzman is a salesman, but Anthony Rapp has also said the finale would resolve continuity issues people have brought up. That's fascinating. We know Anthony Rapp watches Trekyards. When Samuel ran into him in Birmingham, Stamets, Anthony Rapp recognized him and says, "You're from Trekyards. I watch your speculation videos. You get a lot of stuff wrong, but I love hearing you guys talk about it. You guys are so knowledgeable about the world and the universe. I just want to see where your ideas go." So it's cool that Stamets does watch Trekyards. So does Laurel. Mary Shifa, Shifo, whatever her name is. She also watches Trekyards because she recognized Samuel as well. So that was fantastic. I would like to talk to one of the Discovery people and have them go, "Hey, I recognize you. You're Captain Foley." And the day might come, but we'll see. All this season just to get rid of Spock's beard. Yes, for the love of God, please get rid of Spock's beard. Although I've seen the actor, I've seen Ethan Peck without the facial hair, and he doesn't look at all like Spock. He's too baby faced. So maybe they're just leaving it on to kind of hide that. I don't know. 521,600 Star Treks. That's 21,000. I forget the word. That's 21,000. Yes. KG puts in $3 Canadian. So who tied up Captain Leland? That's a good point. I never really considered. And Cocking's head grew 3 sizes that day. The captain and commander are raptastic. Next week's episode takes place on Borath. Hopefully it's derived from the significance of the planet in TNG. You marry Dr. Crusher if she will have you. Would I marry? Yes, I would. Spock's beard is gorgeous. It would be if it was like straight, but it does this. It's like he's a wolf man because it like grows up towards his eyes. It's really weird. The Star Wars robots with the needles. Star Wars robot, yeah. Although yesterday's Enterprise TNG episode doesn't make sense with the Organia Treaty, reason bad writing script. So Dr. Daystrom is developing my computer now in Discovery's timeline. Yes, he is working on the Duotronics. And TNG does make sense because the Organians disappear. The Organians, I forget what it's in one of the books, I think. The Organians disappear for a while and tensions rise again between the Federation and Klingons. They almost go to war again. And then the Organians show back up. Too bad what next week is not on Praxis. Andrew puts in $2. Thank you very much, Andrew. Greatly appreciated. Sorry, just having an issue with my computer. There we go. Was the best TNG scene with Crusher and Troy yoga practice? That was definitely one of them. Yes, absolutely. Love those mirrors. Just saying. That was a great scene. I tell you, no wonder Daystrom is so mentally unstable in the Ultra computer after this mess. There you go. Yeah. Beards should always only be goatees. Meh. There's some nice full beards that I've seen on some guys, and they just look really impressive. And other guys try to pull it off, and they just can't. So I'm going to have to disagree there. Picard series takes place pretty close to the Star Trek Online era. It's still like 60 years before Star Trek Online, so something like that. Getting stabbed in the eye has to be the most not fun thing to happen. But yeah, and plus what happened to him with all the needles in the back of the head too, that looked rather painful with the way he was screaming. The one with Troy in a sheer dress is also a good one. You know what? I'm not a huge fan of Troy, but yeah, I agree. That is an amazing scene. I don't know how she felt comfortable wearing that. on set, but damn. The workout room in that episode was the engineering set. No, it takes place in the first season of Star Trek Online. Does it though? I don't think it does. Borg's motivation has always been to assimilate humanity and other species to evolve to a state of perfection, not destroy all sentient life. The Borg can't survive without their biological parts. Totally agree, Dan. Totally agree. I would chase Robin Leffler. Yeah, who wouldn't? Double-sided fashion tape is a godsend. The new Picard series will take place in 2387, sometime after the events of the destruction of the Hobus Star. Star Trek Online started in 2409 and is now approaching 2411. Yeah, so it takes place like a good 20 years, like 15 years before Star Trek Online. Mark Mapleback puts in $2 Canadian. Yes, anti-trekker, plenty of booze. Tell him I say hi. I'm not going to be able to watch tonight. Is it possible Borg initially wanted to destroy all life and then that changed? Oh, it could be. It could be like they decided that, we need to use the biological components as well in order to attain that perfection. I don't know. Anti-Trekkers here. Just got off work and getting ready to watch the show on the stream. I'm going to need a lot of booze. Hello, Anti-Trekker. Yes, you probably are. I did rather enjoy this episode, though. There's a few things I know you're going to rant and rave about, but overall, and if you see the preview for next week, you're going to be pretty happy, I think, about one or two things. So, Sirtis is also my favorite convention speaker. She is so funny and wonderfully smart-assed. I'm going to disagree with you there. I can't stand her personally. She only tells the same, 3 stories every time that I've seen her, and she seems like a bit of an asshole. She was asked a question at London Comic Con this year. I forget. I was just wandering around the floor near the stage, and I heard it. Didn't really hear the question. The question was, how did it feel working with so and so? I can't remember who. And she goes, "Are you seriously asking me that question? I can't tell you what it's like to work with other people. You need to." I forget exactly what she said, but I was just like, "Oh my god, stop!" She's not my favorite person. I can't take her. And of course, she told the story about how she got to fly the ship in the latest script, and then, what's his name? Geordie LaForge character guy says, "Yeah, but did you finish reading the script? You actually crashed the ship." And so she told that story. And what was the other one she told? It's just one of the. She's got 3 stories that she tells at every convention. It's just kind of annoying. Getting the booze truck ready. That's a good idea, Anti-Trekker. At one of the conventions here, just complained about the blue dress being for perverts, but then she wore the other one that looked like she should have heard bow chicka wow wow music. How hypocritical of her. Yeah. Alas, we'll never see the origin of the return. If this is a Borg origin story, it will probably somehow be sent to the Delta Quadrant. Maybe they assimilate Stamets, and Stamets uses his tardigrade DNA to jump them to the Delta Quadrant to save the Alpha Quadrant for now. Who knows? Everyone knows Tilly is your favorite person. I love Tilly very much. Off topic a bit. We've been off topic the whole discussion. Don't worry about it. Been wanting to ask the group for a while. This rerun of Orville made me think of TNG's episodes. Has anyone ever heard of the term skiffy rather than sci-fi? No? and I would never ever repeat that. That's an awful term. Basically means a sci-fi show that might as well be a Little House on the Prairie episode, but just happens to be set on a starship or something sci-fi. Therefore, it's skiffy, and not really sci-fi. I wouldn't consider that to be Orville, though. Some episodes, yes, but overall, I'm really impressed with Orville so far. So, I thought the Picard series took place in 2399. I don't know. It takes place 20 years after TNG. I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I can't tell you right offhand. I just know it's before Star Trek Online. Another awesome episode. Been loving this show since episode 1. Good for you. I didn't enjoy a lot of season 1. I mean, a few of them were pretty good. But I can't stand Tilly. I'd totally toss her out an airlock. Well, that's, your opinion. I can't stand other characters that you probably like, so. I like how Stamets was shielding Burnham from Leland. Also, how the hell did Giorgio hold her own against the Terminator when a Klingon couldn't? Well, because she's the Emperor. She's got super awesome fighting skills. Duh. I don't know. Plus, you gotta remember, he's not Klingon. He doesn't have Klingon strength anymore. He's been reduced in strength because he basically got grafted onto a human body. So, he doesn't have typical Klingon strength. The Borg destroyed Guinan's planet before she was on Earth with Mark Twain. Yes. Will Picard series make reference to what happened to the Romulans? Probably be a pretty big point, actually. It would probably be causality loop, since the Borg and Enterprise were from the TNG era and were stranded in the past in generations. You mean First Contact? What would Elam Garrick say to Tilly? I have no idea. That fight in the show was awfully Terminator-like. It was. If energy weapons is useless against the Borg, why can't the away team just replicate assault rifles and also carry handheld weapons like a katana or bat'leth? I mean, I don't know. Klingons aren't really stronger than humans. They are more enduring, can pick up heavier things because they can take the damage of doing it. Okay. So I missed the beginning. Did you guys like this episode? I did like this episode quite a bit. This was one that kind of surprised me from what I'd seen of the trailer or the preview for it. I wasn't super impressed, but I really did enjoy this episode. As I said, I'd probably give it a 7.5, maybe an 8. We'll have to see how that goes. As usual, I've only watched it the once, and then when this is over, I go down and take my notes, watch it again, and then we film tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow afternoon for the review that Samuel and myself do, and then tomorrow at 5 Eastern Standard Time is our live review, a discussion where we break down the whole episode from beginning to end. So if you guys can make it, love to hear your thoughts, comments, questions, all that. Join us for the live and come and be part of it, because we love seeing you guys. What if comics? What if the Red Angel was in Star Wreck, the Perkinning? Those what if comments are awesome. Tilly reminds me of Ezri Dax. Kind of, yeah, I can see that. Gotta go, good night. Alright, Doug, see you later. Thank you for coming by. Klingons are absolutely stronger than humans. It isn't a durability issue. They have redundant parts to help. Yeah, they also have like a honeycomb-shaped rib cage, so it's a lot stronger than a human's rib cage. Who was Foley talking about when he thinks... Hold on, what is this? Somebody complaining. Who was Foley talking about that he thinks is an asshole and always tells the same 3 stories at every convention? I can't really hear him that well, and it sounded like a good bit. It's Marina Sirtis. Can you guys really not hear me that well? I thought the audio was good now. the mixer on my OBS has got the volume good. But yeah, it's Marina Sirtis. I can't stand her. I like science. Yeah, that was kind of a weird line from Spock. I like science. I love Tilly and Esri, as you should, J.L. Young. Good man. I like the comm badge communication. That was cool. Sound is good, thank you. Damn it! This light pistol doesn't work. Super soaker, super soaker. Are the Klingons strong? But are Klingons stronger than Vulcans, though? They're about the same. They're on par as far as I've understood over the years. So, Spock's attempt at a joke, maybe. Did you see the recent casting news for the Picard show? It seems to line up with the supposedly leaked casting info. Apparently, the main cast includes a Romulan teenager who is Picard's ward. That'll be fantastically interesting. I will think that'd be great. I think 67% enough to help the Borg is enough to help the Borg. The Borg only have a few planets. It might be how they found transwarp conduits. Possibly. I've kind of thought about that as well, that the information could be scattered throughout the collective, and that's kind of the beginning of the Borg. I don't want that to be the case, though. And did they get 67%? I think they only got 57%. Jadzia is great. Jadzia is the best. Jadzia is pretty fantastic. That I like science line was horrible. Should have stayed with say bye Spock. Bye Spock. We gotta think, Tristan, it was the Telosians that were projecting that image of Spock and Burnham, so it's the Telosians that did the bye Spock thing. But KG puts in $5 Canadian. The Sphere's database is still on Discovery. Did anybody catch the foreshadowing about leaving Discovery in the 32nd century? Yes, we did. It is possible the unification happened between the Vulcans and Romulans. That is my favorite TNG two-part episode. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Picard show needs to drop the Romulan crap. I don't think this will have anything to do with the Borg. I hope it doesn't. I pray to God it doesn't. Vulcans are on par strength-wise. They lack the natural armor, so it'd be a matter of endurance and fighting ability. Jamal, he's the man. He should have his own show talking about Star Trek. He knows all the ins and outs. Heard Kurtzman cried when he heard Picard read over the first episode. Oh my God. Hope it isn't that bad. I thought it was the Telosians and the two in tandem. Well, they were on the shuttle though, so maybe it could have been, but I really doubt it. I think it was just a projection by the Telosians. I'm not sure how it works, man. I didn't read the script. I don't think that was in the script. I'm going to speculate that it was just the Telosians that did that, but who knows? Picard trilogy will largely be based on blank blank. Not going to say it here because spoilers, but not hard to find if you're interested. Thanks, Esri. Oh yeah, let's bring in the Borg and V'ger. Yeah, why not? They got 54%. There you go. I didn't think it was up to 67. When the time ship's captain explained time to Chakotay. Why do you have a crush on Dr. Crusher? She is married and has a teenage kid. However, I do want her as a mother since she is such a good mother to Wesley, and I'm kind of jealous. Why do I have a crush on Dr. Crusher? She is married. Well, she isn't married. He's dead. And she has a teenage child. You can't have a crush on somebody with a kid? Dr. Crusher was like smoking hot. She was a smoking hot MILF back in the day. Telosians might have understood their personalities. In that case, I think it's a good explanation. Yes. I watched a conversation once, and Marina annoyed the hell out of me. Thank you, Wolf Within. Every time I've heard her talk, I just want to, like... I was going to say something, but I'm not going to. I just want to leave the room. I can't stand her. When she was at London Comic Con as well, we had the TOS captain's chair there. Like Trekyards, we had the TOS captain's chair, and during a break, I went over to her table, and there was nobody at her table, and I went up to her and said, "Hi, how you doing? Just so you know, we have a TOS captain's chair over there. If you want to come take a seat in it or something, have a sit down, get a picture or whatever." And she's like, "No, I don't like TOS. I don't like those people." I'm like, "Okay." And then she says, "Yeah, and the new show, I don't like it either. They're about as bright as a, they're about as smart as a bag of rocks," she said. And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, sorry to hear that. It's there if you want to, just saying." But she doesn't like TOS, so she didn't come sit in the chair. Um, no, that's not what put me off of her. I've kind of disliked her since I was a teenager because I can't stand her. There's something about her I don't like. So, good night, Super Steel. I remember when she sat on Picard's desk. I don't remember that. Oh, Crusher? What? I never liked her. I also hated Majel as her mother. I wasn't a huge fan of um, Loxana. However, the older I get, the more I appreciate Loxana. The more I like her character. But yeah, I never liked her originally either. Wesley didn't have friends because he got mad at his friends every time they came over because they talked about how hot his mom was. That happens. That's the thing that happens, yeah. Why didn't Red Angel go to DS9 and warn Cisco about the Vulcans kicking the Niners' ass? Priorities? I really like the visuals of Discovery firing torpedoes at the planet. I did too, except for where the torpedoes launch from. They launch from the ends of the nacelles, for Christ's sakes. Unless I saw it wrong. Because after the explosion hit the planet, I'm like, did I just see that correctly? Did those come from the tips of the nacelles? And Sylvia's like, because she knows that if she said yes, I would rant and rave about it. So I'll go back and rewatch it. But I'm pretty sure they came from the nacelles, which is beyond dumb. I heard her speaking in Mission New York, speaking with Nana and Terry. She seems snarky but okay, very British sense of humor. Finding Scott Grimes from Orville was Wesley's holodeck friend. Yes, that's a great deleted scene. TOS cast really didn't like the game they got from it. Nimoy even disliked it about 10 years after. You saw it right. Torpedoes were definitely coming from the nacelles. Oh my god. They weren't from the nacelles. The angle was weird, but it was from the wings. There are no wings. There's strut attachments. There's nothing under the nacelles. And from what I recall, it looks like they're coming out the ends of the nacelles. They're not launched from the... I'm going to have to really analyze that scene. That's going to be a Trekyards video for sure. We're going to talk about that because it's ship related. TNG cast for the most part. TNG cast for most part embraced the fame. Yeah, except for LeVar Burton. I saw him at London Comic Con 2 years ago. And again, just went up, introduced myself. Hey, how's it going? I have this web series called Trekyards. We talk about the ships and tech of Trek. You know, since you're the engineer, or we're the engineer, you might want to check it out. And he's like, "No, I don't do podcasts." I'm like, I'm not asking you to be on the show. I just here's my business card with the Trekyards information. It's just something you might be interested in if you're actually a fan of Trek. You might be interested in watching it. No. I won't be doing that. It's like, okay, I'll just leave the card there. It'll probably never get touched. But he also didn't want to shake my hand. He wanted to fist bump me, which is a Brent Spiner thing, which makes sense for the germs and stuff. But I still think it's kind of, I don't know. There's a few Trekyards. There's a few Star Trek actors that I just can't stand. I really like their characters, but I hate the person. I hate the actor. I just. Jamal, I'll take a look, but it looked like the nacelles to me. But I will watch it again. What would be your initial rating of this episode out of 10? As I said, probably a 7.5, possibly an 8. like after I take my notes and talk about it with Samuel, we'll see if it bumps up to an 8. But right now I'm saying officially it's a 7.5. Can the pylons be used for wings in atmospheric flight? Probably. Jill is leaving, I guess. Bye, Jill. Frakes fist bumps too. I've shaken Mr. Frakes' hand in Vegas in 2013, so it's not always a thing, but I met Ethan Phillips once and he seemed really standoffish. Well, it depends if you catch him on a bad day or whatever, right? But I try not to make snap judgments on people, but usually from what I hear from other people or other conventions or even the staff, the volunteers that work the cons, that I know some of them, and Marina was a real diva, is worth saying. She was a real bitch to her driver. I don't know. It's just, and I've always had this feeling about her. I just don't like her. So they should wear hazmat suits to be on the safe side. They should. They should. That really sucks. LeVar Burton and I have a unique connection, and I'm scared to meet him and be disappointed too. Yeah, I mean, he seemed like the nicest guy. I loved him from reading Rainbow. I grew up with that. I wanted him to be a nice guy. It just rubbed me the wrong way, and it was just that one time, so I'm not sure what I think about that yet, and I haven't really heard any bad things about him. So I won't say I hate LeVar Burton, because I don't, but Marina Sirtis, not a fan at all. Tim Russ the same way. I love Tim Russ's character, Tuvok, but we've had Tim Russ film for Trekyards, and he's just very standoffish and just doesn't care about Star Trek, and it's kind of sad. I hate when Star Trek actors don't care about Star Trek. It's like, this is what being on Star Trek, your life is basically set. You're going to be going to conventions for the rest of your life, making money just signing your name. You need to embrace that and be that person that people want you to be. I don't know. It's just, it bugs me when people don't respect what made them who they are. He was probably just having a bad day. Getting to know the person behind your favorite character rarely ends well. Yes, this is very true. They are probably so tired of Trek. Well, yeah. Tim Russ was on Orville. It was pretty cool, actually, to see him. Should they do a remake of Space 1999? They'd have to call it Space 2099, but yes, that'd be cool. Marina said many times that Star Trek will be their family and they move on past it. 20-something years later, that's their bread and butter, and now she sings a different tune. Yeah. That's the other story that she told at the 11 Comic Con that I've heard many, many times. The whole thing about the spacesuits. She calls them spacesuits. It's like, it's a uniform or a costume. Don't call it a spacesuit. That just rubs me the wrong way. Well, we had to get into our spacesuits. It's like, stop with the spacesuit thing. It's just a job for some people, and even with the money, some don't want to be that public figure, and it's their right. Sure, then don't go to a convention. If you don't care about the character, you don't want to do it, you don't care about Star Trek, then don't go to a Star Trek convention when you get invited. Just kindly refuse and continue your acting career doing something else, making your money that way. Don't go and try to milk the fans out of their money, the fans that love you and your character, and then be a complete and utter asshole to them, Jamal. That pisses me off. If you don't care enough about Star Trek to actually want to talk to the fans and be nice to the fans, then by all means do not accept the invitation to go to the convention. For them, it's just a free flight, a free trip, a couple hours of having to sign and get on stage and hang out with their old friends from work. It's they don't care. They don't care enough to be there for the reasons that they should, and that really pisses me off. But that's a whole other rant on its own. Alright guys, it's been an hour and 4 minutes. Joe Torres is here, and that's definitely time to sign out because Joe is here. Joe always puts a damper on things. Probably is wondering what Samuel thought of this, and I don't know yet. I think Samuel's really gonna like this episode. But preach, Pastor Foley. Well, if I get on a rant, I gotta film more of my rants. I just uploaded a rant to my Captain Foley channel that I had done in 2017 about redesigning, or about the look of Discovery and how you can do the 1960s aesthetic and modernize it. The rant got like 130 views. All my other uploads to the personal channel are like 40, 30. Well, that one's at 70, but the rant video, because it had a rant in the title, I need to do some rant videos because I can rant if I really want to. But anyway, thanks guys for tuning in. Like I said, probably 7.5, maybe possibly an 8 by the end of rewatching it again for this episode. Really enjoyed it. Don't want it to be the Borg. I think that'd be entirely stupid and a big misstep on their part. So no. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Check out our review tomorrow afternoon when it comes out, and then join us tomorrow at 5 Eastern Standard Time for our live discussion and breakdown of this episode, where we go into the minutia. Joe, you should come. You'll find out what Samuel thought about it, and that's all you really care about after all. So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley. 2 more likes from Jeff. Come on, 2 more likes. Let's do it. But yeah, I'm going, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. Love you guys all very much. And I won't be an asshole when I meet you in person. I promise. Bye, everybody.